Hello everyone, and welcome to a review of area, surface area, and volume. This is video 1. We'll be looking at area and actually perimeter, and we're going to be doing some harder questions with this where we're going to be solving for some unknowns. So let's take a look at our formulas first. For rectangles and parallelograms, we have area equals the base times the height. For the perimeter of this, you have 2 times the base plus 2 times the height. For triangles, it's 1/2 base times height for the area. There is no separate perimeter formula, so we would just add all the sides. For trapezoids, it's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. And for circles, the area is pi r squared and the circumference is 2 pi r. Can also be written as pi times diameter there. So let's take a look at some examples where we need to apply these formulas and solve for some unknown measures. In these examples, what they're going to be doing is they're going to give us an area or a perimeter, and they're going to ask us to solve for a missing measure. So what we're going to do is treat those formulas like equations. We're going to put in all of the numbers that we know and solve for what we don't know. So here in example 1, it says find each measurement. In part A, they want the height of the rectangle, and they give you the base is 5, and the area is 5x squared minus 5x. So in this one, what I'm going to do is take the area formula for a rectangle, which is this equals the base times the height. I'm going to put it in an equation and then solve for the height. So that looks like this. So I have 5x squared minus 5x equals 5 times the height. To solve this, I just have to divide by 5, and it gets you x squared minus x. So I just did 5x squared divided by 5 gets you x squared, and 5x divided by 5 gets you x. So the height is x squared minus x. So if you understood that, then just pause the video, try the next 2 questions, and then hit play to see me explain them. Or you can just keep the video on to see my explanations. In part B, it says the perimeter of a rectangle is what they want, and they tell you the height of the rectangle is 6 and the area is 12x feet squared. So what I'm going to do is use the area formula to find out what the base of this is. So area, 12x, equals 6 times the base. And I find out that if I divide by 6, you get the base is 2x. Now I just have to put it in the perimeter formula for a rectangle. So 2 times the base number plus 2 times the height number. And then I just simplified to get 4x plus 12, and that's my answer. In part C, it says the base of a triangle is what they want, and they told you area is x squared, inches squared, and h is x. So we're going to use the area formula for a triangle, which is 1/2 times the base times the height, which is x. We're going to make it equal x squared. Then we'll solve for the base. And it's okay to have multiple variables here. That's fine. Just keep in mind what you need to get alone. So to solve this, I'm going to divide by x first to get 1/2 of the base is x. Then I'm going to double it to find out the base. So I multiplied by 2. So the base is 2x, and that's what they wanted. So I have a few more questions on another slide. Let's take a look at them. Okay, in part D, it says the radius of a circle is what they wanted, and they told you the circumference is 24 pi. So to find the radius, we're going to use the circumference formula, which says that the circumference, 24 pi, equals 2 times pi times the radius. Okay, and we create this lovely equation. We have to solve for r, so I just divided by 2 pi. When you divide the pi's, they just cancel out. 24 divided by 2 is 12, so the radius is 12. In part E, it says they want the circumference of a circle, but they've only told us that the area is 9x squared pi. So again, we're going to put this into the formula for area of a circle. Area of a circle is pi times radius squared. And we're just going to put this in to get this equation. Now, if you get the pi's to the same side, you'll get r squared equals 9x squared. The pi's will cancel out. Now we need to do a square root. When you do that square root, the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of x squared is x. So the radius is 3x. Now, once we know that, we can find the circumference. Circumference is 2 times pi times the radius we just found. So you just do 2 times 3 is 6, and you keep the pi and you keep the x. And the order of these doesn't really matter. You can do 6x pi if you want, but that's how you would find the circumference of this. Okay, let's look at some questions where they put some shapes together and we have to combine some area formulas. In example 2, they want us to find the shaded region, which essentially is this entire shape. But notice they've given us some clues on how to do this. They've given us these dotted lines that cut it into 3 separate shapes. We have a triangle at the top, we have this rectangle in the middle, and we have a half of a circle at the bottom, which is also known as a semicircle. So if we find the area of each one individually and then add them together, we can find the area of the entire shape. Now, one thing to be aware of is that they didn't give us the base of this triangle, but we can figure it out. Notice it is a right triangle. We know this is 10.2. This side of the triangle all the way down to here ends up being 4.8 because they told us that this part is 3 feet and that makes a rectangle. So this would be 3. So we're going to use Pythagorean theorem to find the base. Then we'll use the area formula to find the area of the triangle. So here's the work for my Pythagorean theorem. The 10.2 is the hypotenuse, so that's alone and squared. And it equals 4.8 squared plus b squared. If you square these and then subtract this value from that one, you will get 81 equals b squared, so b is 9. And the area of this triangle would be 1/2 times the 9 times the height of the triangle, which is 4.8, as we said earlier. So the area is 21.6. Next, to find the area of this rectangle, you just do 3 feet times this length across, which is 9. So 3 times 9 is 27. And then we need to find the area of the semicircle. In the semicircle, we're going to use the formula for area of a circle and just multiply by 1/2. But first we need the radius. Remember, this distance across is 9, so the radius is half of 9, or 4.5. Now the area is going to be half of the area of the circle that has a radius of 4.5. So it's 1/2 pi times 4.5 squared gets you 10.125 pi. Now our last step is just to add all of this together. And when you do, you get 21.6 plus 27 plus 10.125 pi, which is about 80.4 feet squared. Okay, let's take a look at another example. This can be rather tricky. In this example, they've given us a rectangle, but they've cut out a circle. Notice this is half of a circle, and then this over here is another half a circle. So it's one full circle. So what we need to do is find the area of the rectangle and then subtract out the area of the circle. So let me show you that work. For the rectangle area, I just did 33 times 16, which is 528. For the area of the circle, we know the diameter is 16 feet because it's going to be the same distance over here. So the radius is 8, half of 16. So I just did pi times 8 squared, which is 64 pi. Then I just need to subtract these two numbers. And when I do in a calculator, I get 326.94 feet squared. Okay, so that's it for area and perimeter. I'm going to have a separate video about surface area and volume. So make sure to catch that video.